setup at the end of the day. But in this next topic, so we saw this Reddit post and I wanted to talk about it. And the question is the Tesla Model Y performance worth $900? Because I know a lot of you out there, you've probably shopping for a Tesla vehicle, whether it's a Model 3 or Model Y, and you probably ran through some of the payments. And the question probably popped up, or you saw the payment on the page and you probably saw that it was either $600, $700, $800, or even $900. So we'll try to answer this. And of course, I'll give you a realistic payment on what a Tesla Model Y is today, because depending on the term, and I'll even give you a credit union that you can actually use if you want to go a little bit further in the extended term of the monthly payment, because even though it could be $900 a month, it could be much, much less than that. But before we get into that, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, which is basically getting the best on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Reddit user Lazy Influence 3083. 2023 Model Y performance, $900 a month. Is that worth it? So of course, this person has been shopping for a Model Y performance, and they probably realize that if they finance it under the correct terms, or at least the terms that are posted on the Tesla website with state taxes and all the different fees factored in, you will actually see that it could be as high as $900 to $1,000 a month, because you can see right here, especially if you're using Tesla financing at their rate of 5.89%, which there's plenty of other credit unions that are lower than that, and you can get the full list at the Patreon link down below in the description with all the best interest rates. But I'll show you a quick one right after that that's just a little bit lower than that, but I'll show you why I'm going to show it to you, because it has a better term. But you can see right here, if you did a Model Y performance at $4,500 down payment at an interest rate of 5.89%, that's going to give you a monthly payment of $843 a month. Of course, this doesn't factor in any sort of state taxes, license, DMV fees, or anything like that. And that could easily push that to much, much more. And that's kind of the thing, right? I mean, when you're financing a $50,000 to $60,000 car, that is going to be the monthly payment that you're expected to be at. But the difference thing is here is when you buy a Tesla Model Y, especially if you're going with a home charging setup, you're not going to be paying that hefty gasoline bill that you would be buying for other vehicles. So the question is it worth it? Well, if you compare it to other vehicles that maybe could be in the same caliber or same quality, I mean, the Honda CR-V hybrid starts at $30,000. That's going to be a monthly payment of anywhere from $600 to $700 a month. So really it's ideally, or it's going to be a $200 to $300 a month difference at the end of the day, which could easily be made up in gasoline savings, maintenance savings, definitely not insurance savings. But the biggest thing to me that makes it up at the end of the day is the autopilot system, because if you do any sort of commute with any sort of highway driving, whether it's 30 to 1 hour a day, just getting on the road, throwing it into autopilot can save you a lot of time, or just remove a lot of the micro decisions that you have to make when you're driving on the highway or really driving anywhere. So once you trust the autopilot system, once you get used to it, it makes a lot of sense in that time savings that you can actually get back with that. But let's run through this, because let's say we were buying a Model Y performance, which actually a Model Y performance is definitely not in line with a Honda CR-V. So we should dial that back just a little bit. But if you were asking me the question, is a Model Y performance worth it? Because we've had 4 Teslas so far. We've had the Model 3 performance, the Model Y performance, then we had a Model S long range, and now we have a Model X long range. And if I were to do it again, I probably would not do a performance variant on any sort of kind, because ride quality, ride comfort, and on top of that, a bigger tire, which means more cost for tires and things like that, it just doesn't make sense to me, especially if I'm looking for a daily driver at the end of the day. So most likely, if I'm going to compare it to like a Honda CRV, I certainly wouldn't be getting a Model Y Performance, and I'd most likely be getting a Model Y Long Range, which is around $50,000 $490. But the biggest thing with these vehicles is they all have, especially the Model Y, have the $7,500 federal tax credit, which as long as you qualify as an individual yourself with the actual income limits and income caps, then you can potentially get an added extra refund for $7,500. Of course, definitely use a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, because then you can get an extra $500 off and 10,000 loot box credits, which translates to about one wall connector and much, much more. So definitely check it out. Tesla referral code down below in the description. But once you do this, so let's do some hypotheticals here. So $50,490, we won't factor in the tax credit because that's something you get next year, even though you potentially could be. So $50,490 times, we're going to use 1.09% for financing and state taxes and fees and everything like that. So that's going to give you an out the door price of $55,030. So $55,034 actually. And the biggest thing is here, I'm going to let you on a little secret. Here is Labor Credit Union. Labor Credit Union is great because their rates are pretty much in line with what Tesla financing has right now, which Tesla financing is 5.89%. And you can see you can go all the way up to 88 months. So 88 months at 5.99%. That's going to give you a pretty low payment. So we've got it right here on the page. We'll remove this down payment. We'll put $1 there, and that's going to give you a monthly payment of $774 a month. Not necessarily recommended to go to 88 months, but if you're driving a lot of miles and you're spending a lot of money on gas right now, at least gas, or at least when you spend your money on gas, that goes to someone else. But if you spend your money on a Tesla, you're paying down depreciating equity on the vehicle. Really, you're just paying interest at the end of the day. So it could be a little bit different. It might be a better pill to swallow. And on top of that, the biggest thing we're missing here is that there is a $7,500 federal tax credit that could be potentially coming into you. And if you're looking for a better financing partner, where you can take advantage of low monthly payments, factoring in that $7,500 federal tax credit now, that's where channel sponsors like Tenet come into play. Tenet, which is also down below in the description, Tenet allows you to get a lower monthly payment for your Tesla because they allow you to defer a portion of the loan, maybe even that $7,500 federal tax credit. They can do this because they are a Tesla approved financing partner, which then allows you to give a low monthly payment on your Tesla. So definitely check out Tenet down below in the description. And thank you to Tenet for sponsoring this video and a bunch of videos this month. So you can see right here, after we factor in this, we didn't even factor in the $7,500 down payment, but let's say we did, that would bring it down to a monthly payment of $668 a month, which is much less than the $900 a month as posted in this Reddit thread. And the big thing that we're missing here is if you're in California, there's an extra $2,000 that you can potentially play with. If you're in Colorado, there's $5,000, and like 11 to 12 other states have extra incentives on top of that as well. So if we factor that in, then we're at a monthly payment of $640 a month, which in my opinion, that 100% makes it worth it, because if you were to go buy a CRV at $30,000 and finance that whole thing, that is easily going to be a $500 to $600, maybe even $700 monthly payment. So I certainly feel like the Model Y makes sense at this price point. But let me know what your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Definitely check out some of the links down below in the description that can give you more insight on what this actually means. But we're going to jump into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel. And if you're looking to chat someone about your situation about buying a Tesla, if you have questions or you need some help with navigating, you can actually check out my Patreon link where you can chat with me via the Patreon app, ask me questions or direct messages, and or even schedule a call with me for a 15-minute call where we can go through your exact situation. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description.